but ultimately questions of policy are not for judges.
No.
And questions of financial resource are certainly not for judges. And we can only make our position clear. That's one of the reasons why I'm very pleased to have the opportunity of coming before this committee to make our concerns about the state of forensic science in England and Wales very, very clear.
Well, we'd like to hear it.
I think we are in very serious trouble. I think that, as you all know, in April 2017, a digital forensics supplier ceased trading, and that's caused a lot of trouble to retrieve data. In 2017, the regulator highlighted the broader risk that exists from the forensic science market and was concerned that too much money had been driven out of forensic science provision. Less than 2 weeks after publication of that report, Key Forensic Services entered administration, which required the police to step in to provide resource to ensure that ongoing investigations were continued, but that led to insufficient capacity for the range of types of casework, and each police force was subject to a cap on submissions that they could make. This meant that some cases where forensic science may have provided valuable information or evidence could not be processed. And there was some evidence of an increased error rate during this period, although one can't say anything about cause and effect. During the wind down, there was a buyer for the majority of the business, and that was able to restart without some of the liabilities of the old company. But forensic science providers continue to be under significant financial strain, and this represents a serious risk to quality, particularly in relation to potential for loss of skilled scientists, some of whom have been made redundant more than once. And yet it takes years to train a forensic scientist, and that deals with the general run of forensic science by which people will understand the CSI work of biology, chemistry, and the like. On top of that, there is an increasing demand, almost exponential in nature, in relation to digital forensics. And although I'm somewhat of a cracked record on this subject, the real increase in crime that has to be addressed is cybercrime. Yeah. And the consequences of the fact that downloading the contents of my mobile phone will take thousands and thousands of pages. And it's quite easy to download it, but then it's got to be searched. And we need up-to-date forensic mechanisms to search the contents of iPads and mobile phones for all sorts of offences. I was told by a police officer recently that a judge, probably in exasperation, ordered the contents of an iPad to be downloaded over a weekend. It took 19 officers.
Did we hear the same story when we went to the Metropolitan Police?
It was a Metropolitan Police officer who told me. But actually it identifies the size of the problem. And that's where you're looking at crime that isn't digitally originating. Cybercrime, the risk of being defrauded through digital mechanisms is a whole new ballgame. And I believe this country really has to get on top of the problem. And I'm not sure, with great respect, that it truly is.
Poorer quality and in-house provision.
Lord Gigo, just come back to Sir Brian's point. So what would be the solution to that analysis that you've just given us?
The solution that everybody gives, every committee in this building, it needs money.
Yeah.
It needs to maintain experienced, capable scientists who are not going to be rushed into reaching conclusions which then will be undermined because the job hasn't been done properly. It means ensuring that our capability across a range of sciences and in the digital field is kept up to date with modern methods of search. It requires a whole range of things, including the provision of a proper regulator to ensure that standards are maintained.
On a statutory basis.